Hello again, it's Dr. Lyndze Harvey at Teach to Resist. This week I would like to share one of my favorite books with you that really demonstrates the power of resiliency strategies and self-regulation and that common experience of flipping our lids. So in previous videos, I discussed the idea that is well articulated by Dr. Dan Siegel, and he calls this the handy model of the brain, or the hand model of the brain. And I've discussed this model in other videos. I encourage you to check that out, or to check out Dr. Dan Siegel's work. But he talks about what happens when we flip our lid, and flipping our lid can look really different for many different people. Sometimes people who have that limbic reaction find that they fight, so they're more likely to pick a fight or to blow up at somebody, or to yell or scream or break something. And then there are those of us who kind of are more likely to maybe get a little mischievous, or be really nervous about that fight side of us. And so we say we're fine, and we hold things in, and we feel that flipping happening inside of us. But we don't really articulate it, and maybe we try to go somewhere quiet, somewhere on our own, to feel those feelings because of the shame associated with those feelings. So there's really many different ways that people can flip their lids. And this is just one example, but I find that this book really helps me to articulate with children that this happens to all of us, and that sometimes that recovery and that moment where we find our way back to calm can help us to be more creative. And sometimes it's the most magnificent thing. So this book is called The Most Magnificent Thing by Ashley Spires. She's the author of a few other wonderful books, and I really encourage you to check out her work. And today, while I'm reading this book, I encourage you to think about lid flipping, and what that looks like, and how this book could be used, and what kinds of things you could talk about when looking at this book with children. So this is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole wide world. They do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, they relax. She makes things. He unmakes things. One day, the girl has a wonderful idea. She is going to make the most magnificent thing. She knows just how it will look. She knows just how it will work. And all she has to do is make it. And she makes things all the time. Easy peasy. First, she hires an assistant. Next, they gather all their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way and get to work. She's certainly out of the way, isn't she? The girl tinkers and hammers and measures, while her assistant pounces and growls and chews. When she is finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around one side. Her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. It doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even kind of sort of okay. It is all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. She smooths and wrenches and fiddles. Her assistant circles and tugs and wags. When she is finished, she stands up and takes another long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing is still wrong. She decides to try again. The girl saws and glues and adjusts. She stands and examines and stares. She twists and tweaks and fastens. She fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square. She makes it round. She gives it legs. She adds antennae. She makes it fuzzy. She makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small. One even smells of stinky cheese, but none of them are magnificent. Its hard work attracts few admirers, but they don't understand. They can't see the magnificent thing that she has in her mind. She gets mad. The angrier she gets, the faster she works. She smashes pieces into shapes. She jams parts together. She pummels the little bits in. Her hands feel too big to work, and her brain is too full of all the not right things. If only the thing would just work. Crunch. The pain starts in her finger. It rushes up to her brain and she explodes. It is not her finest moment. I'm no good at this. I quit. Her assistant suggests a walk. It's not much help at first. Before long, she starts to feel different. Bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. As they stroll along, she comes across the first wrong thing she made. The bad feelings are about to start over again. Then she notices something surprising. There are some parts of the wrong thing that are really quite right. The bolts on one side, the shape of another, the wheel to seat ratio of the next. There are all sorts of parts she likes. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the thing magnificent. She gets to work. She works carefully and slowly, tinkering, hammering, twisting, fiddling, gluing, painting. Her assistant makes sure there are no distractions. This is the perfect thing to ward off bears. This will stop that leak. This one's all wet. The afternoon fades into evening. Finally, she finishes. She alerts her assistant. The pair take a good long look. It leans a little to the left, and it's a bit heavier than expected. The color could use a bit of work too, but it's just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a spin. They are not disappointed. It really is the most magnificent thing.